No, I'm over here. Okay.
My man. Well, look, I won't go too far into like an intro thing, but I'm just going to say, welcome to my video, and DeAndre's video as well. My name is Josefa Savu. My channel is Journey with Josefa. I'll link a lot of stuff in a written description.
Okay.
Yeah, today I'm chatting with DeAndre. So DeAndre will obviously introduce himself shortly, but just to kind of preface this, I've met DeAndre through the Spirit Tech Ambassador group, and I really resonate with him, and a lot of the things that we're doing together is so synergistic. So I've been having amazing conversations with people, and I wanted to record, or we are recording one together, and just having this amazing flow go down. So
Yeah.
without further ado, this is DeAndre, and we'll start our conversation after we get to know DeAndre.
Well, it's my honor to be here. I am DeAndre. I also go by Sage on YouTube and other places. But yeah, I'm a Spirit Tech Ambassador. I met Josefa through there, and it's been an honor to know this man, good spirit, brilliant mind, and he's hustling. So I respect it, as am I. So I am the owner of the brand and website Spirit Trek. So you can find me at spirittrek.com. It's SPIRITTREK.com.
Awesome. Yeah, and so me and DeAndre, we're just talking about our experiences with just like simple things in life that we effectively stifle ourselves on. So to get a bit of a context and let the flow keep going back with relationships, we were just talking how we've had these experiences growing up in life, and we've come to certain points where we're wanting to start to look at relationships and master relationships, and how this being a fundamental thing to life, on this process of like self-mastery with life, and identifying main areas in life that we should look to improve. So yeah, we'll riff, we're just kind of having a conversation about life, but where we were kind of at, DeAndre, you're explaining how you went into college after having a very introverted life per se, and like the whole aspect of coming in and learning how to socialize.
Yeah.
And I can definitely relate to that too, because even though I have traveled a lot in my life, like I was constantly moving, and I don't know if you know this, but before I was 3, it's funny when you look back at life when you're a bit old and you're like, okay, that kind of probably did affect me, or mold me. But they say between the ages of 0 to 7 is when you're actually like learning all your instilled behaviors and beliefs. Like I think I heard that from Bruce Lipton, the guy that wrote The Biology of Belief.
Okay.
But then through 7, Boma, one of our mentors, or somebody that we're affiliated with the Secret Energy and the Spirit Tech Ambassador group, is I learned through him that within those ages too, you're also developing your root chakra. So that's about stability and security and safety, right? And because for me, I was born on the Gold Coast in Queensland. My father's Fijian, my ancestry, a lot of Tongan and surprisingly American. And my mother's side, so the Australians, they came from England before, and I don't know much about the lineage on that side. So born in Australia. From Australia, we moved from the Gold Coast. After my dad graduated, we moved to Canberra, where he was working, where my sister was born. And then from there, we moved to Tasmania, where my grandfather was quite ill and he had cancer. And we went there before he was going to pass. And then from there, we made the decision as a family to move to Fiji. So I spent actually a lot of my youth in Fiji. So this was like I can waffle on about how much travel I've done in the meantime, but my life has been constantly travel. And I'm a Sagittarian, so this kind of types into life path numbers and even the zodiac. For me, I'm a Sagittarian, so we are travelers. Like that's one of the traits for us. We're mutable fire, so we do constantly want to be stimulated with new things. We're the priests, the philosophers of the zodiac. So we always like to kind of expand and look at different perspectives. And because of these experiences, I had the ability to, as a child, meet new people. So I would, even though there was a lot of times I was shy, and there was a lot of times where I didn't, there were certain waves in life where I was very extroverted, and other waves in life where I was very withdrawn. And, with women, with girls, like I, had always, if we put this into another context, because we were also talking about game and relationships, when you're learning to socialize, like, especially for young men or for all young people, it's like, okay, well, how do we attract a partner in our life now? Because, we're single. But, it's like an essential life thing that we don't learn, through our parents or something like that. And nowadays things are crazy. Like people are doing like Tinder and all this kind of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Who knows what's next?
That's
But
good. Who knows?
yeah. It's gonna, yeah, exactly. But anyway, this essential aspect of just learning how to communicate and relationships being a pivotal part to like a holistic life or a balanced life. And yeah, I don't know if like, I guess I've been talking for a bit. So if you wanted to just, share any experiences or what your thoughts are on that, and just how your experiences with like learning to socialize and going through these different things, like I'd be interested to hear your experiences growing up. And yeah.
Okay, I can do that real quick. I mean, well, that's a very interesting childhood you had right there, man. That's a lot of moving. See, I'm a
Yeah.
tourist, so I'm a little more at home. But as I've grown up, I've become much more fluid. Like I love to travel these days. But growing up, I was definitely more stagnant.
Okay.
And it was funny because I did move a good amount, but I wasn't making a lot of friends so much.
Okay.
And when I did make friends, I'm not really sure how it happened. It just kind of happened. It was like, I'm living life, and now I have a friend. Where they come from? And I have another. Okay, I have two friends, but I had no real remembrance of making them.
Interesting.
Yes, okay. I'm not sure how that worked out, but it worked out. And growing up, I felt like I had a fire to express, and to become. But based on who my mom is, and based on how I grew up and my surroundings, and my religion as well, I was very tame, very, very controlled. And I never had a real chance or even necessarily want to express an adventure.
Yeah.
And so it took me many, many years to even get to the point to where I realized that I wanted to do that for myself.
Okay.
So that's been a process I've been undergoing. And it's really cool to see how it's evolved and it's sped up, rapidly over the past 4, 5, 6, 7 years, especially. It's just going exploring,
Yeah.
So that's how I definitely relate to what you just said in your childhood.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It kind of proves that, when we're divided from aspects of ourselves, and this can kind of be, well, I don't know if you're there on the line, my brother, but I'll kind of just keep going with what it is that my point is. When you're divided from yourself, in a sense, because you're not shared, or it's like information about yourself isn't shared because you only have a very small structure to, experience life through. Like when I was in Fiji, it was very strongly Christian orientated. And I was really blessed that even though a lot of my family had to go to church all the time, my dad didn't like make us go. So because of that, like I was very allowed to express, but I was expressing and everybody else wasn't expressing. So I used to get in trouble a lot. I was always that kid, that was just like very loud, that loud. They used to call me Cyclone Joe. Like I was just a terror. Like I was just a crazy kid. But at that time I was very vivid in like I had an open third eye too. So like there was a lot of weird shit that was going on at that point.
Yeah.
But to kind of relate that back to what you were saying and how I'm really like resonating with the point that you're saying is, when we're, through some of these, and that's not to point out what's good and what's bad. Like your religions have its good and its bad points. Obviously for us, we're looking at a holistic view of things, but the aspect of socializing is something, especially sexuality. Sexuality is really repressed in Christian religions, a lot of religions. Like even if you think about it, right? So the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, like there's no feminine in there, and even Mary was a virgin in the biblical text. Like,
it makes sense.
Like obviously they're trying to remove women, and you've done work with, we've studied at the university in Seven's work, and even though I haven't fully like comprehended everything he's saying, like you take from it that we're obviously in a very strongly patriarchal society that is, about oppressing the feminine, but that's is clear. And but there's also a repression of the divine masculine, because we're only seeing the immature masculine. there's, we need to come into these divine aspects of ourselves and be in wholeness too. Like we need to come out of duality and we need to come into a wholeness or a trinary perspective of things. And anyway, to get back to the point, we're being divided through some of these structures, through repressing our sexuality. And sexuality is creativity. Sexuality is expression. It's not just the physical act of sex. And for me, the first time I ever saw a pornographic image, like, we'll be explicit, I'll keep it real, right? I cried. I freaking cried. Like I was a kid and it was like a weird reaction, but it was at a young age. And being a Sagittarian, being mutable fire and having a lot of energy, like I had a high libido. I have a high libido. So the first time I saw a pornographic image, I was about 14. I was in my parents' bedroom because that's where the computer was. And they were sleeping on the bed, or they were lying on the bed. It was like 1 p.m. I still remember this day. And I was just like playing video games or something. And this pop-up came up and it had like a naked lady on it. And I cried. And
that's how
it's how it started. And since then I've been like, obviously that perked my interest in, pornography and just women. And like, I've never really, it's like, okay, so that's what happens after you get a girlfriend or after you get a girl. And then there was no questioning though, how do you get the girl?
Yeah.
How do you socialize? And that's going off in another loophole, but I need to just put this back on point and say, we need to learn to socialize overall and express because, everybody has like a gift. Everybody like has this piece that, we put together to this collective puzzle to change and make the change that we want to see. And a lot of the growth that we get comes through sharing. And, you experienced that when you said that, through the last couple of years, how much you've expanded. And we're social creatures. Like we need to interact with one another. And it's funny how we're transitioning from being able to speak one-on-one to now, having, texting all the time, which you can't really convey as much energy when you're not having an exchange. But, it's beautiful that we can do exchanges like this though, because, we can like really resonate and vibe with each other and have expressions like this. And I don't know if this is done enough, but I can only speak from my experience. I don't know.
I'm going to say no, but it's also from my experience too. So I don't know, man.
Okay.
To add on to what you just said, to get a little bit more into like metaphysical ideas or spirituality ideas.
Yes.
The idea of all the self, right?
Yes.
And when you meet people, you meet selves, you get the opportunity to experience aspects of creation, of the creative force, right? And like I didn't get that until a while ago, because like you said, it starts with dating, and you want sex or woman or girlfriend, and then you want people, and then you want more authentic interactions, and then you want more loving, holistic, vibration raising interaction, and then it goes from there. But then you get to the point where it's like all the self.
Yes.
And so I think, like you said, we have to, we're made to interact. And there's a movie called Waking Life. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
I'll write this. I'll get this off you at the end.
Oh, got you. And there's a scene, and this dude comes up to the kid in the movie, and he says, "You have not met yourself yet, but the benefit of being here in the meantime is that someone might show you to yourself." And I was like, "Whoa,
yeah, that's deep. Cool. I love that.
And I'm like, okay, but that's really wild, because you start meeting people that really expand your horizons and even reveal parts of yourself that you never even knew existed.
Yes.
It's like, wow, this is so cool.
Yes. Dude, oh man, I love it.
Like, I'll give one quick example. That's cool.
Go.
So I was at a festival a while ago. Had a great time. Beautiful. It was perfect. It's called Afropunk, if you ever heard of it. And I'm out there having a great time, just enjoying the vibes. And at some point, towards the end, during the Anderson Pop concert, I see this random group of people. It's like these 3 girls and these 2 dudes. And the girl who comes to me, she's like, she's like 5 foot. No. She's like 4 foot, 4'1", and like she has like a slightly hunched back,
Okay.
and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Well,
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
she's hilarious. She's over here talking like, ah. I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? And then the other friends come over. And then one is like obviously either drunk or really high or like whatever. I couldn't tell. And
Yeah.
then the two dudes were mad cool. They were actually homosexual. And it was really
Okay.
interesting because I had grown to the point to where I felt very comfortable in their presence. I wasn't like, oh, and that showed to me, growth. And and then the last person that was with them, this woman I met, I've never seen someone so perfect before. Like it
Beautiful.
really blew my mind that this person existed. And so
Yeah.
me
Okay.
meeting this person like verified or to me the potential of what you can encounter in this lifetime and the potential
Yeah.
of what you can become.
Yes.
And meeting those kind of people really
Yeah.
shifts your whole perspective. Like literally it shifts your being.
Yeah.
And you begin to vibrate in that direction because that's you recognize its greatness.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And that's so true. That is so true. Like, I love the metaphysical spin that you did on it because, if I explain that metaphysically, because, to elaborate how I look at it and how I'm working with that now is like, if we're mostly water, and if we know that obviously we're susceptible to vibration, what kind of vibrations are we setting ourselves around? Are they synergistic? Are they going in the same directions we want to be going with our expansion? And
Yeah.
that's not to judge good or bad, but it's like, I'm going there. Are you going this way? Or are you going that way? Like, if we're not going the same direction, all the best. But I feel this is the way to go. So I'm going to go there and I'll let you know how to get to where I'm at.
Yeah.
But
And like
this is the way I'm going, you know what I mean? um, but that's the whole metaphysical approach, and we have this through structures around us. It all comes through what is the resonances around you. So like even right now I'm literally holding crystals in my hand. I've got a lot of stones around me. It's because I realize that there's a vibration to them. They're sentient beings that hold certain vibrations and have these interactions with an energy that assist us.
Mhm.
And that's the same for the people that you have in your life. So I'm my personal experience, again, why I'm so blessed is because I continue to travel my whole life. Like I've lived and stayed in every state and territory in Australia. I've done road trips that are the equivalent of driving around Europe in 2 days.
Oh my God.
That's like a trippy story. I drank a whole case of Red Bull, and my cousin, he told me about a horror movie that was shot like near us, and it
Yeah.
freaked me out. So I couldn't sleep, and I was like, all right, I need to keep driving.
Please love to drive.
And we just kept driving. So I'm like, Red Bull don't give you wings. Wolf Creek gives you wings.
No.
Um,
Hilarious.
but so I've had the ability to travel around Australia, and because I'm meeting people, and if I'm staying in hostels, I've worked in a lot of hostels. I've worked in a lot of hospitality jobs. I've had a lot of sales jobs. I've had a lot of jobs where I'm interacting with people because I love it. Like I love being around people. So because I've had that experience so much, and I have been able to meet like German people, and like you have the stereotype of what a German person is, and you meet one, like, bro, you're like, I don't know, like you just see the coolness in every different kind of culture that comes in.
For
And for
sure.
me, every time you travel, whether it's a different culture or if it's a different, you can respect the culture and what they've got to share, but then you can also love what you've got at home too, because like, okay, I see how they're doing things like this, but I do like this part of what I have as well. Like it's continuously something that you can appreciate the land that we live in. And I've been blessed to see Japan, and that was an amazing experience. I was in Thailand, northern Thailand, when I was staying in Chiang Mai, and that's when I actually wanted to study Taoism, because Mantak Chia, the author of the Multi-Orgasmic Man, his temple, his retreat, where he teaches, is in Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
So we talked about like an incubator thing. One thing I've got in mind, bro, and this is on a side tangent, is
Oh
to
my
get
God.
a whole bunch of people that can make an online income, right? So we're all focusing on sovereignty.
Yeah.
So if we can get a certain amount of income coming in quite regularly, we can build enough capital to travel to a place like Chiang Mai, live there, because it's actually rated the number 1 place in the world for digital nomads in terms of cost of living,
No way.
cost of living, amenities, things that are actually available to you, the style of life, the how actually it's very gentrified. Like it is becoming more and more gentrified, but it is it caters to both the Western and the Eastern tastes. And there I studied Ayurveda. It was amazing. I met that beautiful German girl I was telling you about before. And then also I met, I didn't get the chance to go to the Tao temple where Mantak Chi is, but I've got this plan that resonating with other like-minded conscious entrepreneurs that have similar paths to me, we're going to get to a point where we're going to earn enough income digitally very soon. Like for me, I'm projecting within the next 1 or 2 months, probably even less.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
yeah, hey man, I'm putting in that work. So it's like, let's make this happen. I was on the radio a couple of weeks ago and I've got more opportunities. I've got things cooking. So it's like time to hustle.
Right now.
But if we aim at like 6 months down the track, so we can get established in what we're doing. And then in 6 months, we like you, me, Jan, who else wants to come? It's like, yo, if we rent one house, I get this out. This tripped me out. We talk numbers for a second. I rented a hotel room to myself in Chiang Mai, northern Thailand. Hotel room, had all the amenities, beautiful place. When I came back to Sydney in Australia, that hotel room was cheaper for a month than a hostel room for a week.
Oh man.
What? So I was like, okay, so, and I understand exactly. And I understand the potential of online entrepreneurship. I know what's capable of. I know that when I develop my skill to be able to present to people, I know that this can be the throughput to get me to people. So I've been putting in that work, but I've also been doing it where I'm at too. So this is why relationships are so important, because I understand how important it is to really care for someone and share stuff with people. But I'm going all over the place with this. I don't know where I was originally going with it.
It's all good.
So we're going to, within 6 months, potentially say, how about we go to a place, we each can say, okay, we've got at least $2,000, $3,000 each. That's enough between us to sustain 3 or 4 months away.
That's it. That's not bad.
But that doesn't include your flights though.
Okay.
But if you book in advance, it can be cheap. Yeah. So if you book the flight, it makes it happen. You have to make it happen. I've experienced this before. So I reckon this is something that we do. But I think we're going to get to a point. I truly think this, and I'm seeing this for myself. We could earn potentially, several $100s a day, especially working with life coaching and consulting. In terms of the value we're offering with what we've got, plus that's not even including all the other side streams or with revenue. And we're going there with the intention to improve business and to improve our spiritual practice. Like the goal is to have, while we're here, so we choose like a place that is going to give us all the amenities that we need. We can make sure that we all prepare the right kind of foods. We can all make sure that we have the right kind of supplements, and we, obviously we buy it as a group, so it makes everything cheaper. Imagine having like a Fly Aqua device there, and all of us can like pay for like the monatomics. We can share the cost on having monatomics, so we can go in hard. Like we can do everything.
It's like it's pure experiential growth.
Exactly. And especially if we focus that at the start on improving the financial aspect and documenting this and sharing this with other people. So it's like, yo, this is what we're doing. You guys do the same thing. If you want to join us, come with. If you don't want to, that's cool, but you can do it for yourself. Like this is open source. This is a blueprint. This is a blueprint of what works, what doesn't work. And because we're all working on that blueprint together from a spiritual point of view, from a holistic health point of view, but through putting in the work, bro, what you're doing with Instagram is amazing. There's so many places we can all share it with each other, like you're doing that thing, and we can keep improving each other with our different gifts and create something together. So possibilities are endless. And for me, it's just like, it's there. I know I'm working towards it. Like for me, it's like, this is what I'm wanting to go towards, and I'm going towards that. But it's like, yo, I know there's some brothers that can join in, and whether it's now, whether it's in 6 months, whether it's in when it needs to happen, this is something that is always open for anyone. And I want to have like an activator academy. Like this is my like intention.
I was just thinking about this. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, you go ahead. I've been waffling, bro. Go ahead.
Well, I will share what I came up with while you were speaking, and in alignment with what you were saying. So the idea was, it's a perfect idea. Live in a place that's affordable. It's spiritually conducive to our growth and evolution. A good environment, good people around. All that's amenities. All that's perfect.
Yes.
Over the course of months, years, however long we're there, you have time income and you have
Yes.
resources to grow how you want to grow without any
Yes.
real bounds, which is ridiculous. It's heaven almost. Wow. And
Yes.
then from
Yes.
there, once we get to a certain point to where we're fully established in what we're doing and we know, okay, this is what we're cultivating amongst
Yes.
ourselves, it's then open to others to then experience what we've, created. And
Yes.
then from there, you can say, okay, you can come stay with us for a couple of weeks, experience what we are going through, joining our process. Of course, it's not free, but you know, it's
Yeah,
almost
okay.
like it's like becoming a part of the tribe for a little bit and
Yeah.
experiencing that in that lifestyle.
I feel
And
you.
like Muji are people who have communities, and around
Yes.
them, there's people like living there because they enjoy the lifestyle, the presence of those people.
Mm.
I think that's ideal in many
Yeah,
ways.
bro. Yes, I'm so excited. And if we choose like a place like Chiang Mai, like there's the Tao Temple there too. So you've got like the Grandmaster of internal alchemy, sexual kung fu there too. Like just the possibilities of what we can do. Sorry, I'm tying this into the Chiang Mai thing. Sorry, let me get back to what you were talking about with the whole activator thing. But yes, so true, so true. And that's kind of what it's funny how the life coaching thing, like the fact that we were talking about it, then you got me onto like the fact that Mark was doing it as well. It's like, okay, whoa. And then obviously Seven said he was thinking about it as well. It's like
It's just
we're all
happening.
thinking about the same thing from different perspectives. So the more we share our points of view, the more pieces we put into that puzzle and be like, oh, okay, I see how you did
Exactly.
it. Um, so for me, that's definitely one branch of what I want to do. And like, offer also extended stays. It's like, yo, guys, like come for like 3 months. Like let's have a property where people can come and camp and kind of like, you know what I mean? Live there. Like exactly what you said. I saw that. And it's like, it's about creating the small structure. So how do we implement that on a smaller scale? And then from that blueprint, again, as above, so below metaphysics, you know, we do that concept to inception plan. So, and
Yeah.
we experience it for ourselves, so we know what we can do. You know what I mean? And like I'm so keen. So one of my passion projects is, so we've got the Activator Academy. So down for that. But the other thing that I want to do with like the incubator thing, like say for instance, if you, me, Jan, and however many other people want to jump in, because obviously the more people that do it, the more cheaper it is. But for us to document and to also just develop our spiritual abilities. Like I want to document how to do a Kundalini activation and document that on like film.
Yeah.
And also like the people around, because like you hear the video, the story when Seven activated and like shit was like shaking everywhere and, like what is possible. Like let's push the boundaries. Like I want to know what it's like to open my third eye and look through it. Like I had one open when I was a kid. I saw some things that freaked me out, but I know that there's more work I can do to be more active with it. And I know now I'm aware of what I learned I'm aware of what I blocked myself with. I've deprogrammed that. And it's just about resonating with the right kind of people that are, can share their paths and what they're doing. And through the group practice too, like imagine every night we're doing like, conscious breathing, like with intentions for certain things.
Yeah.
Like just how beautiful the things we can manifest. Like seriously, we could really change so much things. And obviously the more people we have doing that, like quite literally, I'm feeling in my heart right now. It's like, it's going to be so beautiful, the change we're going to be able to create for everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm so fired up, bro. Like, I feel like I'm the archetype of fire right now. I'm like, get it done, get it done, get it done, get done. And it's like, I'm just feeling this passion. So it's like,
Yeah.
let's make it happen.
See, I think this is really big for one because it's almost as if we're creating a template for the future of what of how we should be living, and
Yes.
we'll be documenting and demonstrating this is what is to come if you so choose this path. If we
Yes.
as a society decide to live like this is what can happen. And
Yes.
then from there, it's just magic, man. It's just magic. And I mean, like 1 week of being there, I can imagine in 1 week's time how much change could occur, how much growth could occur.
Yes.
Whenever you come around somebody who is of a high vibration, you gravitate and you rise with it. And then if you're with those who are of a similar, of a synchronistic high vibration, it is multiplies and spreads like wildfire. So, man, I'm so
Yeah, I
excited.
know you're feeling, bro. It's exciting.
This is a real thing. And like, not to talk about, to tie it to people more. I just wish we realized the potentials of how we could live. I mean, there are people who are out here really living like, and they say, you know what, screw this. I'm going to live how I want to live. And they just go out and do it.
I'm a supreme being.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is an example of how we could really, find your heart's desire and live it fully. And I really respect you for having the ambition to even bring it up or even come to the idea that it can happen, because it's hard because, I don't have many people in my life who are on that mindset, or who could even, fathom, leaving a job, so it's just really good to have people around you who inspire what you want as well. And it allows you to live it, so thank you for that. It's great. It's great.
Bro, I can't put that as eloquently as you did, but it's right back at you, my man. You have no idea how much, seriously, straight up, bro. When I see the work that you're putting in your videos, when I see the whole way that you're putting them together, I'm like, these are beautiful. When I look at the work you've done on your social media, it's like, how you master one thing is how you master everything, right? And you've put in work. Like, you're life path 9, you're a Taurus, like you hustle, And for me, like, I'm that mutable fire. Like I'm like, when I've got, like, for me, it's like, I've got the fire. I just need the throughput. I need like that focus. And I'm glad that through our interactions, like, we're creating this together. So thank you for just being you, my bro. Like, that's the cheesiest thing I can say, but I'm being so sincere with it. I really do. I love you, man. Like, I love everybody that I've met in my life, because everybody has shaped me to being who I am now.
Yeah, sure.
However I took it at that time, depending on my awareness, I may have judged things and I shouldn't have. Well, you should never judge, right? So it's like, thank you for every experience. And, I'm just thankful that we're synergizing, because essentially what we're trying to do is we're just trying to give our essential, beautiful gifts of what we feel we can help people with, and create the change that we want to see. And it's like, well, if I love everybody and if I treat you guys like I want to treat myself, then I want the best for everybody, yeah? So what's the best thing that ever worked for me? Or what's the thing that you think is the most interesting thing to go to? Like, I get bored easily. So I'm like, I don't have a boring life. Like, I just want to live a passionate life. So it's like, why can't I live to everything to the extreme? Like, I know I need to put that work in. But if I love what I'm doing, if I love the people I'm around, if I love, like, how I can help people, it's like, why not do that? And like, or why not at least try to do that? As long as you're moving in that direction, you can't be wrong. And that's how, again, metaphysics can be something so simple, but then that can expand on so many different levels. And, through conversations with you, through, Seven, when you hear Seven talk, you're like,
yeah, it's ridiculous. How is that possible?
Yeah. And that's like goals. It's like, we see him, it's like, all right, that's where I want to be. Simple. Yeah. Like, I want to get to that point. And, anybody else I see that's like that, like, you pointed out Muji. You introduced me to Muji. I don't know if you know this. And I'm grateful for that. Some of the videos really helped me out. I'm like, thank you. So again, thank you.
Oh, wow. That was amazing. That was so well thought out. Thank you for that, man. I really felt that.
In my mind, I'm like, dude, you've been talking for a while now. Just chill.
No. It's just that we've discussed so much that I'm trying to like find like a balance point. I'm over here like, whoa, like this is
great. And we've been chatting. I was actually wondering, how long have we been talking, my man? Oh, it's almost been an hour. Damn. Okay, cool.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I might have to stop the recording shortly just for storage purposes, because it is also video recording too. So I'm going to, in terms of making the production aspect a lot more simpler, we'll probably wrap it up soon on the video. Like, we can still keep chatting. I don't have anything for the next 30 minutes. So yeah, we can kind of chill for a bit if you're down. And then I can put some work in and then, hopefully send it back to you in the next few days. So
sounds good to me, man.
Cool. But please, I would love for you to say anything you'd like to, if you'd like to say anything before I end the recording.
I just want to say that I love how you said that what we're doing is we're just trying to give to people what we feel, we've given ourselves in many ways, which is, a fulfilling life, joy, excitement, all these things that people want. That's all we want is for them to have it too, and so much of what we're doing is we're just learning how to better ourselves so that we can help others better themselves easier.
Yes.
And so we put the work in up front so that we can share the message and say, this is how it's done.
Yes.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. And it's really inspiring because there's more and more people who are doing this work all the time, people joining us. So to those who, are trying to make a difference, those who are trying to help someone or anyone or the world, whatever it is, thank you for your services. It's appreciated. It's a group effort. And to those who are listening, thank you for listening.
Thank
Blessings always.
And honestly, DeAndre, so Spirit Trek, that's your platform as well?
Yes, it is. SpiritTrek.com or on Instagram, Spiritual Trek, at Spiritual Trek.
Yeah. I'll obviously, in any descriptions, I'll link all the info too.
For sure. Thank you.
No worries, bro. No worries. But anything else you want to say before we hit the recording? End the recording?
That's it. I'm good.
Awesome. As always, bro, seriously, dude, I really appreciate the chat. So
yeah, man, it's always great talking to you.